Good day everyone, this is the reporting of Group 2. Now, before we start our reporting, let me introduce myself. I am Jerome de Aguilar and I am the first presenter. Now, our report today is about Lesson 2, about the structure of the K-12 language arts curriculum. Let's talk about objectives. At the end of the lesson, the learners are expected to explain communicative competence and its components. Pagkatapos ng ating discussion, na pwede ang learners ay malaman na o may paliwanag na nila kung ano nga ba yung communicative competence at kung ano ang mga bahagi nito. And next is understand the importance of multiliteracies in communication today. The third is connect the 5 macro skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, and viewing, and contracting meaning. The fourth is use language appropriately according to culture, purpose, and situation. And last is recognize the importance of holistic assessment and learning. The main goal of language arts and multiliteracies is to teach students how to use language effectively and correctly. Why? So we can communicate well, better understand the other subjects, and handle challenges in work or in life. Now, let me discuss about communicative competence. It involves not only knowing the rules of language, but also understanding how to apply language appropriately to achieve different communicative purposes. And we should also know when, where, and how to use language. We are going to tackle that in communicative competence parts. It has 4 parts. First one is grammatical linguistic competence. Knowing correct grammars. Now, which means that grammatical linguistic, kailangan natin ng hindi lang tayo marunong gumawa ng sentence, kundi kailangan din nating alamin kung ano ang ibig sabihin nito para mas maunawaan ng ating audience. Second is sociolinguistic competence. Knowing how to speak depending on who you're talking to. We talk differently from our friends versus to our teachers, and also to those people that older than us. We always say po and opo to show respect. And the letter C is discourse competence. Being able to speak or write clearly and in an organized way. This means that when we are writing essay, our ideas are connected and not confusing. At halimbawa na lang na kapag gumagawa tayo ng essay, dapat siya ay connected na hindi yung iba-ibang kanyang kahulugan, hindi yung lumiliktong tayo. Dapat siya ng kompleto, hindi yung may nalilikdangan tayong importanteng kailangan nating ilagay sa ating salaysay. The last is strategic competence. Knowing how to find ways when you have difficulty speaking. Example, if we don't know the words, we can use gestures or other words, so we can still explain. Halimbawa, na kapag na ang kausap mo ay nasa malayo, tapos hindi mo siya marinig o maintindihan, pwede siyang pwede mong sinya sana lang siya para mas maintindihan niya kung anong gusto mong iparating sa kanya. And now, we will talk about multiliteracies. Multiliteracies means being able to understand and use different kinds of information in print, online, with people, and at work. Today, we shouldn't only know how to read books. We should also know how to read and understand. Multiliteracies have 4 literary practices. First is Traditional literacy. Reading and writing books, articles, and papers. As we can see, traditional literacy is all about the written text that we can find in information about language. The number 2 is digital media literacy. Understanding films, videos, social media, and other multimedias. Digital media literacy or emerging literacy shows that such as films and other forms of multimedia. And number 3 is social literacy, knowing how to communicate and get along with people in your community. It is focused on how humans communicate and how they create meaning of the communities. And number 4 is professional literacy, using the right communication skills for school and work like emails, reports, and presentations. Here it emphasizes the use of literacy skills in academic and workplace settings. It is also important to understand that language arts and multiliteracy curriculum aims to develop learners that English is used all over the world, in business, science, and more. And language is also depends on their cultures. Na alam naman natin na ang isang language na pwede mag-connect sa atin sa ibang tao, sa kahit anong sulok man ng mundo, na may isang language na pwedeng mag-connect sa atin. Ito ay ang English. Now, let's talk about the conceptual framework. So, there's a question, why do we need this curriculum? Because now in knowledge age, in this area, the biggest challenge of education is to prepare for learners for a fast-changing world. It's no longer enough to just memorize facts. We should be able to participate in global economy, so we must be ready for jobs and opportunities, not just here in the Philippines, but around the world. The second is we should know how to handle information. We must be able to search, evaluate, and use information correctly from the internet, social media, and other sources. And third is we should have strong thinking skills. We should be able to analyze, make good decisions, and solve problems on out loud. Next is, in knowledge age, it's not enough to just memorize. Students must learn how to think, adapt, and communicate well so they can succeed in a fast-changing world. In knowledge age, hindi lang dapat nating i-memorize, kundi dapat din natin malalaman at matutunang mag-isip at mag-adapt and to communicate well so we can succeed in a fast-changing world.
Good morning everyone, I am Althea Pardenas, briefly discussing Language Arts and Multiliteracy Curriculum or LAMC. The Language Arts and Multiliteracy Curriculum or LAMC was developed to help students improve their language and communication skills. It uses a unified framework for mother tongue, Filipino and English. This means that students can use what they learn from one language to help them learn another language. The goal is not only to memorize words and grammar, but to help students communicate effectively in different languages and situations. Ang Language Arts and Multiliteracy Curriculum ay binuo upang matugunan ang mga pangangailangang pang-edukasyon ng mga mag-aaral. Gumagamit ito ng isang balangkas para sa mother tongue, Filipino at English. Dahil dito, mas madali para sa mga mag-aaral gamitin ang kanilang natutuhan sa isang wika upang matuto ng ibang wika. Halimbawa, natutunan ng bata kung paano gumawa ng pangungusap sa Pilipino. Kumakain ako ng mangga. Kapag natutunan naman niya ang English, maaari niyang gamitin ang parehong ideya. I am eating a mango. Ginamit niya ang dating kaalaman sa Pilipino upang makatulong sa pagkatuto ng Ingles. Ang language learning process ay tungkol sa kung paano natututo ang mga estudyante ng wika. We have 6 fundamental language teaching principles. We have spiral progression, interaction, integration. Let's explain each one. Unti-unting pag-unlad ng kaalaman sa pamamagitan ng pagbabalik at pagpapalawak ng mga natutunan. Example dyan, Grade 1, I like apples. Grade 2, I like eating red apples. And Grade 3, I like eating red apples because they are sweet and healthy. Pare-pareho ang basic idea pero mas lumalawak at nagiging mas komplikado ang paggamit ng language. It is easy to remember the spiral progression, balik plus dagdag plus hirap. The next one, interaction. Mas natututo ang isang tao ng wika kapag ginagamit niya ito sa pakikipag-usap sa ibang tao. Hindi sapat na nagbabasa lamang ng grammar rules. Kailangan din magsalita, makinig, magsulat at makipag-communicate. Ang interaction ay pagkatuto ng wika sa pamamagitan ng actual na pakikipag-usap at pakikisalamuha sa iba. Halimbawa na lamang yan, ay meron tayong isang teacher. What did you do yesterday? The student answer, I visited my grandmother. Teacher, what did you do there? Well, the student answer, I helped her cook dinner. Sa ganitong activity, natututo ang student ng vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, at communication habang actual na nakikipag-usap. Easy way to remember that interaction equals learning language by using language. The third one, integration, ay pagtuturo ng iba't ibang language skills na magkakasama. Kasama na rito ang listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. Hindi sila kailangang ituro ng magkakahiwalay. So that means na ang integration ay nagpagsama-sama ng iba't ibang kasanayan sa wika upang matuto ang estudyante sa pamamagitan ng isang topic o activity. I have here an example. Topic, my family. Listening, makikinig ang student sa isang story tungkol sa pamilya. Speaking, pag-uusapan nila ang kanilang sariling pamilya. Reading, babasahin nila ang isang short passage tungkol sa kanilang pamilya. Writing, susulat sila ng 5 or more than sentences tungkol sa kanilang pamilya. Grammar, pag-aaralan ang paggamit ng is and are. Vocabulary, matututo sila ng words tulad ng mother, father, sister, brother, and grandmother. And here's the other one component to effective language use. To use language effectively, learners must understand culture, understand how language works, and use the right skill and strategies to communicate clearly. Upang magamit ng epektibo ang wika, kailangang maunawaan ang culture o kultura, maunawaan kung paano gumagana ang wika, at malaman ang tamang skills at strategies para malinaw na makipag-komunikasyon. We have 3 important parts in the next slides. Number 1, understanding culture. Understanding culture, this is about knowing how culture affects the way we communicate. Hindi pare-pareho ang paraan ng pakikipag-usap ng lahat ng tao. Depende ito sa kanilang values, beliefs, traditions, and social practices. Ang understanding culture, ito ay ang pag-unawa sa kultura ng isang language-speaking community upang magamit ang wika na angkop sa iba't ibang sitwasyon. Example number 1, talking to a teacher. Sa teacher, maaari mong sabihin, "Good morning, ma'am. May I ask a questions?" Mas formal ito. Pero sa close friend, "Hey, can I ask you something?" Mas casual ito. Parehong English, pero magkaiba ang paraan ng paggamit depende sa kausap at sitwasyon. Example number 2, Filipino culture sa Pilipinas, karaniwan ang paggamit ng po at opo bilang pagpapakita ng respeto sa nakakatanda. Halimbawa, "Opo ma'am, salamat po, saan po kayo pupunta?" Kaya ang language learning ay hindi lamang vocabulary at grammar. Kailangan ding maintindihan ang culture. Understanding language, students need to understand how a language works, included grammar, vocabulary, sentence structures, rules, and patterns. Process and strategies. These refer to the methods and strategies students use to understand, create, and communicate meaning. In other words, paano ginagamit ng learner ang iba't ibang paraan para matuto at makapag-communicate. Process and strategies. Mga pamamaraan at estratehiya na ginagamit ng mga mag-aaral upang makaunawa, makabuo at makapagpahayag ng meaning sa iba't ibang sitwasyon. Included na dito ang brainstorming, discussion, problem solving, research, keyword searching, note-taking, summarizing, comparing, and lastly, synthesizing information. I have here last example. Teacher asks what are the effects of social media on students. Before writing an essay, the student can use different strategies. Number 1, brainstorming. Maglista ng ideas, communication, education, entertainment, distraction, misinformation. Step 2, research. Maghanap ng reliable information. Step 3, note-taking. Isulat ang importanteng detailed information. Step 4, comparing. Ihambing o i-compare ang positive at negative effects. Step 5, summarizing. I-summarize ang important details or important points. Step 6, writing. Gamit ang lahat ng information, gumawa ng essay. Ito ang process and strategies gumagamit na ng iba't ibang paraan upang makabuo ng magandang communication.
So yun, good day everyone. I'm John Lawrence Salimo, your third reporter. So ngayon, pag-aaral natin yung component 3, which is making meaning through language. So language is a primary tools for oral and written communication with the exchange of meaning at its core. Language learned should enable learners construct and communicate meaning effectively for different purpose, topic, and audience while adapting their language used in various communication. So dito sa component 3, yung language daw is yung primary natin ginagamit or pakikipag-usap natin. So dapat sa mga estudyante is maayos yung pananalita nila o pakikipag-usap sa ibang tao. Dapat alam nila kung ano yung meaning ng mga sinasabi nila upang mas maunawaan pa ito nung tagapakinig natin o yung kausap natin. So yung sa language art and multiliteracy curriculum o LAMC, napaliwanag naman ni Mr. Jerome yung kung ano ito. So next is the component 4, which is holistic assessment. Assessment is a vital component of the teaching and learning process as it supports holistic development of learners rather than focusing solely on summative evaluation. Assessment should adopt a comprehensive approach that continuously monitor student progress and learning. So dito naman sa holistic assessment, sinasabi dito na ito yung paraan natin kung may natutunan pa ba yung mga estudyante dun sa tinuturo natin sila. So gagamit tayo dito ng iba't ibang assessment, like summative evaluation o pagbibigay sa kanila ng mga gawain na para malaman natin kung may natutunan ba sila dun sa topic na inaano natin sa kanila, tinuturo. So, yung sunod naman ay yung mga characteristic of assessment. Una na dyan is yung proximity to actual language use in performance. Assessment should be based on authentic communicative that reflects real-life language use. Learners should be evaluated through meaningful activities that mirror situations they are likely encounter in daily lives, allowing them to demonstrate their ability to use language effectively, practically. So dito may sa assessment na ito, binibigyan natin yung mga bata ng isang gawain na maaari natin gamitin yung based in real life experience nila. So dito para mas maintindihan nila kung ano yung gagawin nila at ma-compare din nila ito sa real life situation. So number 2 naman is yung holistic view of language. Assessment should recognize that the different components of language such as phonology, grammar, vocabulary, listening, speaking, reading, and writing are interconnected. So dito naman sinusukat kung paano gumamit ng wika ang bata sa buong lesson. Hindi lamang ito sa pagkabisado nung ginagawain or isang meaning ng isang words or language. So dito nga sa holistic view of language, dapat alam ng mga estudyante na yung phonology, grammar, vocabulary, listening at yung iba pa ay magkakatugma. So dito malalaman natin kung paano nga ba, gaano nga ba kataas yung kakayahan ng isang estudyante na makipag-usap sa iba't ibang tao. So, yun lamang sa holistic view of language. So, next naman is an integrated view of learning. So, dito nga, yung sa integrated view of learning, hindi lang natin sinusukat yung galing sa pagsasalita ng estudyante, kundi yung kaalaman nila dun sa paksa na ating tinuturo at yung kanilang mga mabuting asal o yung pag-uugali nila habang ginagawa yung assessment na to. So, yung pang-apat naman is developmental appropriateness. Assessments should be appropriate to the learner's cognitive, social, emotional, and academic stages of development. So, dito nga, ibinibigay na pagsusulit o project doon sa mga estudyante ay dapat gawin ng bata base dun sa kanilang edad o pinagmulan. Kung ano ba yung level of learning nila, so dapat ganun din yung ibibigay natin na assessment sa kanila. So yung last naman is yung multiple referencing. So assessment should gather information about learners from variety of sources and through different methods to provide a comprehensive evaluation of their learning. Dito, hindi lang tayo dun tumitingin sa quiz kung natututo ba yung ating mga estudyante. Dapat may iba pa rin tayong paraan para malaman kung natututo ba sila. So for example nito is yung pagpapagawa natin ng project. At sa pagpapagawa ng project, so dito natin malalaman kung may mga nag-gather o may natutunan pa sila dun sa topic nating tinuro sa kanila. So, yun lamang ang reporting ng Group 2. Maraming salamat.